Yeah, I certainly think there can be a plan, or there should be a plan. Look, there's no doubt that we'll reconvene after this game and sort of break down where we're going wrong. I think it's pretty obvious that unfortunately we just haven't played their spinners well enough. I heard a stat that they've taken 22 out of the 30 wickets, so that's something that we're definitely going to have to look at and see how we can be better. The series is not lost yet, and I think that's got to be a big enough motivator for us to come back and try and revive the series for us.
So JP, can you just describe what you think it is that's happening out there? I mean, you faced them in these 3 games. Just what is it that they just do with?
Look, I think what they've done really well is they've assessed the conditions in terms of what they need to do, what sort of speed and length they need to bowl. They haven't made it easy for us to get ones. Unfortunately, a lot of us have not picked their googlies, and I think that's what it's come down to. We've not been good enough in understanding our. Yes, we have game plans, but unfortunately, they've bowled well enough not to give us the balls to play in our game plan, and we've got to come up with different ways of countering how good they've been. You've got to put your hand up and say they've been too good for us. They've outplayed us in all departments. Just looking at Virat's innings today, the way he paced it, wasn't batting at 100 strike rate today, but picked it up at the end. And unfortunately, we've spoken a lot about, from our batting perspective, how crucial partnerships are. And unfortunately, we just haven't had the opportunity to put together partnerships with the bat. The only standout performance has been Faf's 120 in the first game. And as a batting unit, we got to make sure that we're better than that. We got to take it on the chin and take responsibility for it and know that we're better than that.
Can you explain the thinking behind fielding first after winning the toss, considering the record here, batting second in game, and also not playing more and more?
Look, to my mind, I thought he was rested, so there's nothing to the reason why he's not playing. Look, India's always been a good chasing side, so we went with a different strategy today in terms of putting them in, and hopefully we can counter them that way. But unfortunately, it didn't work out today. Look, when you lose games, your strategies and plans and the way you go about it always looks a bit silly at times. But again, we got to take responsibility for it, and I guess the way forward is identify our strengths and try and play, to the best of our ability to our strengths.
JB, you were also going very well there with Aiden. What was the chat like in the middle, sort of the short-term plans as well? Because most of the guys, it seems though, the problem is at the mode of dismissal and the time in which maybe they decide to play specific shots. And as we've seen, catches, sky, top edges, and so forth. But what's the plan in the middle, and what was the plan during your knock with Aiden?
Well, at that point, we were building quite a nice partnership there, so it was just trying to rotate it and keep it ticking over. We know at a venue like this, if you got wickets in hand chasing 8-9s, you give yourself a good chance to win the game. But unfortunately, throughout the series so far, we've lost wickets in clusters, so we haven't given ourselves a chance. And to answer your other question, I guess it comes down to execution. Yes, we've got plans of how to counter their spin, but unfortunately our execution hasn't been to the mark.
JP, you have briefly spoken about Virat's innings, but how do you rate his performance in the ODIs, and how do you rate him among the other batsmen?
Look, he's up there with the world's best. You have to take your opportunities when it comes, specifically in his first sort of 20 balls. We've created chances, but unfortunately we haven't got it to stick. But yeah, he's in really good form at the moment. He's had an unbelievable year, and you've seen he's just carried on and he oozes confidence. So we're going to have to come up with different plans and ways of getting through to him. Look, we've managed to pick up 1 or 2 early wickets, but unfortunately we haven't been able to carry it forward. So again, we're going to have to reflect, see how we can be better. Again, like I said, we're not out of the series, so we're going to have to go into the next 3 games with confidence.
Jake, for Aiden, this must be pretty tough. He's quite a young captain, and you've been captaining yourself quite recently. helping him out, or just how difficult is this going to be for him?
I think quite a few guys have helped him out, and he's obviously confided a few guys on different ways of doing things. But look, this is probably the quickest way to learn, going through difficult times. Look, the type of character he is, he'll get through it. And it's not a case where he needs to go through this process alone. I mean, we're a team. At the end of the day, the team hasn't played well. It's not that he hasn't led well. We just haven't put in the performances. As a captain, you can only do so much. You can only say so much. You can only motivate so much. At the end of the day, as players, we've got to stand up and put in those performances that we get paid to do.
What is the quick turnaround between matches been like?
Look, it's been quite a jam-packed tour on a whole, I think. But this is what we do. This is why you play professional cricket. You got to pick yourself up. Yes, debrief, see how you can be better, and then look forward to the next game and see how you can be better. It doesn't matter if it's 2, 3 days, 4 days. It doesn't really matter in terms of the time. Yes, we got to look after ourselves in terms of our bodies and making sure that we're fresh for Saturday's game. But we got to be up for it. And I know that the hunger and the motivation is there to turn the series around.
I guess in international cricket you can never quite be comfortable at the crease, but initially you started quite well against a spinner yourself. What is the key? Is it about getting down the wicket and being positive? And now Aiden tried to be positive and balls just spun past there. How do you go about it?
Look, I think the key is definitely to try and be positive, but as I said earlier, unfortunately, a few occasions we haven't picked their wrong-uns. And when you're not picking their wrong-un, you're not necessarily comfortable at the crease, so you're always going to be a little bit tentative. And I think once you become comfortable with picking their deliveries, that's when you can play with confidence, play with ease, with freedom. So, I mean, we need to find a way to get that right.
You talked about the wrong one, difficulties picking the wrong one. How would you counter that? And are they actually as good bowlers as South Africa have made them to be? Because Australia, when they fought in India, they didn't struggle as much as you have.
How I would say that is they are good players. They are good bowlers. We just got to find a way to counter what they've been doing really well. And I mentioned earlier that they've assessed the conditions probably better than us from a bowling perspective. And you've noticed that they've probably bowled a touch slower than our spinners. And I think that's where they've been quite effective. They haven't bowled the ball full enough for us to get to the ball, to hit down the ground. That's where we've been successful in South African conditions, being able to hit the ball straight down the ground. And they haven't allowed that for us. So we need to make sure that we have different strategies to that. Find a way of not only scoring boundaries, but finding the one square of the wicket as well. And I think that's going to have to be our game plan going forward.
How difficult is it to pick yourself up to actually look forward to the next game when things are going so bad and you're against a team that's so ruthless as India?
I think every cricketer has been through this at some point in their career, and it will take a day or two to sort of get over the loss. But you've realized, I mean, the more you play the game, the more you realize that ups and downs come with the game. And if you've got a strong culture, a strong unit, a good leadership group, that is what you turn to when things are not going well. Making sure that you don't isolate yourself from the team, always making sure that you give towards the team and not to yourself. And I think that's the kind of things that we want to make sure that we focus on through the bad times. And that's going to get us through the difficult times to make sure that when the good times come, we enjoy it as a team.
And the last time, please.
JP, just looking ahead to the pink ODI as well, the return of AB should give you guys some confidence, and a couple of changes expected to the team after it was mentioned that you probably will change after the first 3 ODIs. And what it brings, and obviously it being the iconic pink ODI, South Africa has never lost.
Yeah, we're certainly looking forward to that game, and obviously the reasons why we play the game. Look, having AB back is obviously going to be a massive boost for us. One of the world's best players in one-day cricket. So yes, he will bring confidence to the team, and no doubt his leadership within the group will add a lot of value as well.
Thank you very much. Just to note, the selectors are meeting tomorrow to select the squad for the last 3 ODIs. So probably send out tomorrow as well.
Thanks, man.